Hello, everyone. Good morning. So we'll give a couple of more minutes and then we will start up. Let's see, a few others are getting joined. So we'll give them 2 minutes more. All right, I think get started. Hope I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, able to hear you.
Right. So welcome, a very warm welcome to everyone to this OCI training by UnoGeeks. As you know, this is the first session for your batch. And maybe I'll start with a quick introduction. I'll start with myself, and if you want to introduce yourself with some one-liner, you can unmute yourself and then go on. So this is Hemant. I'm an OCI architect with 15 plus years of experience in top US-based consulting and product-based companies. I have specialized in Oracle Apps DBA most of my career, and from past 6 plus 7 years, I've been working with OCI infrastructure implementation as implementation specialist, doing the foundation and provisioning services of various Oracle services. And most of the projects which I was working, I was doing the foundations and provisioning the XSES boxes and DBCS boxes, along with the migration of the databases and the EBS applications from on-premises to OCI. So that's a quick introduction about myself. So you guys can unmute yourself, and if you want to introduce yourself, feel free.
Hi, Keman. This is Kalai. Actually, totally, I have 18 plus years experience in IT. I started my career as a core DBA. Actually, I'm working in a core and apps DBA now, and so I'm currently working for CTS.
Okay, nice. So you have any exposure in OCI or
OCA, yeah, actually that e-business would environment migrated to e-business would environment to cloud with the help of Oracle support team.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Hi Hemant, this is Priyabrat Mohanty, and I am Oracle Database Administrator, Oracle DB. In I have 10 years experience in Oracle Database Administration. So I want to learn OCI.
Okay.
Hi, Hemant. My name is Banerjee. I'm a PeopleSoft background, like with 15 years experience, trying to move to Oracle Cloud applications and infrastructure side.
Okay.
Hi, Hemant, this is Funny. Hello.
Yeah, funny. Go on.
Hi, Hemant, this is Funny. I'm having total 11 years of experience as an Oracle Apps DBA. So currently
Okay.
working in Tech Mahindra.
Oh,
So
nice.
just wanted to learn OCI. So having some basic knowledge in OCI, just fundamental knowledge in OCI. Just I wanted to learn more on OCI migrations.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Rama Kanpati, 15 plus years of IT experience. I come from RPA and data background.
Okay.
So OCI is something to me. Looking forward to learning new skills.
Okay.
Yeah, hi Hemant, Srinivas here. I
Yes,
have around 10 plus years of IT experience. I am currently working as a Oracle DBA background. I'm looking for the OCI. So we are recently get the information from management that we are going to migrate a regular Oracle databases to the OCI.
Okay.
So
Yeah, hi, myself Tirupati. Total, I'm having 10 years of IT experience relevant to. Right now, I'm working as an apps DBA. 6 years of experience as an apps DBA.
Okay. Any exposure in OCI as of now?
No,
Don't have. Okay.
no, I don't have any experience in OCI. Just
Hi Hemant, I am Hari Krishna. I'm a recent graduate. So I want to start my career in OCA. So I started this.
Okay. Nice. Good. Hari. Choice. Okay. I think everyone is done or anyone?
Yeah, Hemant, this is Sridhar.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I bring in almost 15 to 16 years of experience. So I have a requirement where, I have to basically create some agents on the Fusion Cloud. So that's the reason why I'm trying to learn the technology, OCI.
Agents in the sense of Oracle Integration Cloud Service?
Yes.
Okay. This is OIC. It is not OIC training. This is OCI one.
Okay.
This is Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So where we will be not mostly touching on the agent part, but this is all the infrastructure administration of the cloud infrastructure.
Okay.
No,
Okay, there
Hemant,
is one more program which is OIC is also running on Oracle Integration Cloud Services.
Yeah, Hemant, I think that generally like Sridhar and myself come from the same background. One of our client is looking to create some AI agents, not OIS integrations.
AI
So,
agents.
Yeah.
Artificial
So
intelligence.
for that, just we are trying to first get some exposure and see what relevant courses we should take. So
Understood.
that's the background.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let's start with the introduction part for today. So we'll go with the introduction in today's session, and tomorrow mostly we will cover the course content. So what will be the course for this training session? We'll cover that, and also I'll give you a walkthrough on the OCI console. So the agenda for today's session will start with understanding what is the cloud computing is all about. And then we'll look into the key advantages of cloud computing. And then we'll jump into what is Oracle Cloud Infrastructure is all about and look into the footprint, global footprint of OCI. So where all we have the tenancies and the regions of OCI, and then understand the architecture of OCI. And then we'll have a deep dive into the overall OCI services which are offered to the customers. And we'll also discuss briefly on the distribution cloud services, like different cloud services in the current market. And also the collaboration between OCI and Azure, and what kind of distribution cloud services are offered by OCI. So this is what we are going to look into in today's session. And tomorrow we'll understand what will be the complete course content and have a brief walkthrough on the OCI console. Right. So what is cloud computing is all about? So if you take into a simple terms, cloud computing is nothing but allowing the customers to rent the IT infrastructure instead of buying it. So if you take that into a very simple terms, that's what at the end of the day is all about. Like here, the customers are not going to invest on the IT infrastructure, whereas they are simply renting those infrastructure for time being. And if they don't really need that, they can let it go and they don't have to pay it. So here the concept is only you will pay for those resources which you are going to use. And if you don't need them, you can return them back and you don't have to pay for them anymore. So that's the concept here. So that's what it says, like rather than investing heavily in databases and software and hardware, companies are now opting to access their compute power via internet or the cloud. So this model is very useful for the customers and in the cost effective, and it is very in terms of the performance also. And they only have to pay for it as they use it. So that is most important thing, what they get. And these cloud services can be the servers that like the physical, what you say, the bare metal servers or the virtual machines. These can be the storage devices. These can be the database services or the database as what you are going to install. And these can be the networking services, analytics, business intelligence. It can be anything what the cloud services are offered for the customers. And as we know, today the speed is not an issue. We have higher bandwidths and all the networks are having. We can have also a dedicated lines between these cloud centers and your on-premises. And the cloud computing is also providing speed in terms of the performance wise. They have the latest generation servers in terms of the CPUs or the Intel processors. Everything is upgraded, and we can also do the scalability, and it has the flexibility of expanding the services as we want. Like if you want suddenly to increase the CPUs, you can do that, or increase the storage, you can do that, which is enabling the business to develop, innovate, and support the business IT solutions. So cloud computing on a whole, we see that instead of buying the hardwares, we are just renting them. And these are like the servers, storage servers, or any of the services which we are going to rent them. And we know that they provide a very good scalability and flexibility in terms of performance, speed, in which is helping the business to develop their IT solutions. So what are the key cloud computing services in the market as on today? We see Amazon as Amazon Web Services, and we have Oracle OCI, we have Microsoft Azure, and we have Google Cloud provider. So these are the leading cloud computing and service providers where the customers more you see, or they are inclined towards these service providers. And we see most of the migrations in the last 5-6 years are started. So advantages of cloud computing, as we said, cost is the most important thing. So eliminate the capital expenses. So you don't have to invest more on the hardware. So earlier we see that there is a data center in your on-premises. You have to manage the data center. It will be having the cooling agents, the ACs will be running, the network you have to manage, and there will be lots of human resources. You need to maintain those hardware resources, and also you need to periodically upgrade them. So whenever like 3-4 years on the line they get expired or they will be obsolete in terms of the licenses or hardware, physical hardware itself, and you need to upgrade them. So there is lots of cost involved in all that. So by moving to cloud, so advantages, first advantage you see is the cost. So you don't need to maintain all those things and that physical location in your uh, particular data center. And then you have speed. Here we are talking about the provisioning of the services or the resources which you need in the cloud. Like if you are looking to provision a particular resource, you can do that instantly. You don't need to take a long time. Like let's say you have to add 1 terabyte of disk to your DB node. In the olden days, it's like you have to procure for your disk. It has to be shipped to your location, and then you have to attach it to your servers and then format it, and then you can attach it to your mount it to your DB nodes or whatever, wherever you want. But here, you don't have to do all that. In simple clicks, in mostly not more than 2 minutes, you will be able to create a disk and you will be able to attach or mount it to a DB node or a compute VM, wherever you want to attach it. So that's the speed here. And then similarly, you can also spin off new servers within no time, like hardly it'll take five minutes max, or if you want to spin off a DB system, it'll take not more than 2 hours, which will give you the complete installation of along with the installation of the database. That's the speed for us. And then you have the global scale, the scale elastically. What does that mean is these services, these cloud computing, the vendor, who is providing us the services, they are like across the globe. So you can expand your business to different regions in the same cloud provider. So if you have some business running in different regions, like one in something in Middle East and you have something in Europe, you will have your resources also running in Europe. You can do that with within the same tenancy. You can add your regions and expand your business wherever you want. So globally you can scale, and of course the productivity, it's increased collaboration will give you the predictable performance, and you also have the customer isolation. Even though it's public cloud, you can have your own dedicated virtual machine hosts or dedicated servers like XSES, which is completely dedicated to the customer itself, or autonomous dedicated box. Even though they are in public cloud, you can have your own dedicated boxes. Or even if it is a virtual machine, it's not dedicated, it is completely isolated for you. No other customer will be able to try to access your machines, or you will not be able to access any of the other customers' data in cloud. So it is all isolated. And performance, as we know, a better performance for the price what we are getting for all the cloud native workloads. Performance in the terms of for the cost, the OCPU cost, what you're paying, you'll be getting the better performance in terms of the CPUs, in terms of the accessibility. And finally, the reliability, the fault tolerant. Here, the services that the provider, here the OCI, which we are talking about, they provide all these services in a highly fully tolerant, fault tolerant mechanism. So they're always on a high available infrastructure. So there is no issue with any of the downtimes or any of the outages. They ensure that these services which they are providing, they are fault tolerant with the mechanism called fault domains, and ADs like availability domain. So we'll come to that. We'll see how they achieve that. And these are like distributed systems. So across all the services, so you will have them always, even though something goes wrong, you will have the service up and running with some other fault domain or. So overall, these are the advantages why we see most of the customers are inclined towards moving to the cloud. And they are happy moving to the cloud. We see the customers are running their services in cloud from last 6+ or 7+ years, and they are very happy moving into the cloud because they are eliminating so many things which they are doing in previously when they are in maintaining their own data centers. Now, any questions here so far before we move into understand what is OCI? So far we understood what is a cloud computing is all about and why, what are the advantages we see moving towards the cloud. Now looking into the OCI part, OCI is a next-gen cloud infrastructure which is designed for high performance and reliability. And this OCI is available for customers for more than 41 cloud regions. So this is an old count. I think this is now almost more than 50 cloud regions. They have expanding their services in the new regions, and they are rapidly building more new regions as well. And OCI is a next-gen architecture, enables fast and on-demand provisioning of over 80 cloud services. So these are the services which we are actually interested into understanding, and we are going to learn about these services, what services the OCI is offering and how to provision these services, how to maintain these services, what we are all as an administrator will be understanding. And these are like more than 80 now. I think it's crossed 100 also maybe. And like AI services is what one of these services which we are talking about. This can be the storage services, DB services, compute services, all are these services. And then OCI enables easy migrations like enterprise applications for EBS, PeopleSoft to the cloud. So what they are doing is to enhance these migrations or to make this migrations very easy for the customers. They have some tools which they have introduced to the customers. And if you want to migrate your database, something like zero downtime migrations, ZDM is what they have introduced. Using this tool, you will be able to migrate your database from on-premises to OCI. You can do the assessment of your database and see whether whatever the required parameters are there, or whether you are on the required patch set levels. And then once you assess your database, you will be able to then move your database using this tool. And similarly, for applications, enterprise applications like EBS, they have come up with something called Cloud Manager, which is known as EBS Cloud Manager. And this tool will help the customers to migrate their applications from on-premise to OCI, which will take care of taking the complete backup of the database and the application. And this backup will be moved to the OCI. And on the OCI side, it will do the new deployment. This is all fully automated. So as an apps DBA, we don't have to worry about anything. If we just configure this tool and use this tool, it will do the migration for us. And there are lots of customers who have done this through these tools, who has successfully migrated their production environments from on-prem to OCI. Similarly, you have a cloud manager for PeopleSoft as well. And I think Siebel is also one of the application which has this cloud manager. That's for the enterprise applications. And also OCI is providing the best support for hybrid architectures. So when we say hybrid architectures, it is like you have your production running in your on-prem, and we have customers who are having their standby, their DR in OCI. So this is a hybrid architecture. You have a mixture of your on-premises still running, and you have OCI for your DR, or maybe you have production running in your on-premises, in your OCI, and you have your UAT or development is still running on your on-premises. Or maybe you have a different cloud vendor where you have Microsoft Azure, maybe let's say, and you have your AD, which is in your Azure, and you are authenticating your users through the single sign-on where your users are in AD and your resources are in OCI. So, or some services, application services are running on OCI, Azure, and your DB services are running on OCI. So these kind of hybrid architectures are also supported in OCI. So in this slide, you will see the overall, the global footprint of OCI, like where exactly the regions, the data centers are now, we call them as regions. Like if you see in the Middle East here, you have Dubai as one region, Abu Dhabi is another region here. In Saudi, you have Saudi Arabia, you have Jeddah, and in Europe, you have Frankfurt, London, Amsterdam. So these are all the physical locations. In that particular location, you have a data center kind of thing. All the servers are physically located in that area, and they call them as a region. And similarly, in US also, you have San Jose, you have Phoenix, you have Mexico. So many regions here. Ashburn is most popular one, Phoenix and Frankfurt. And they are also expanding the regions, like you see Israel to Saudi Arabia too. This is something upcoming regions, which are in pipeline, and they will be live soon. I think most of them might have already been live. Because this is an old screenshot from 2023. I think by now they have already expanded more than 50 regions. And they also have Azure interconnect regions in some of the regions. So we'll talk about this in the coming slides. But to understand, these are the regions on a overall, and they are expanding them to different regions as well. So how, as a customer, you will now, I think like in the customers, if we put into a customer shoes, like we are now convinced as a customer, we are happy to know what cloud is all about, and we understood the advantages of the resources to move to the cloud, and we are happy that we are saving the cost, we are getting the better performance for whatever we are spending on on-prem, and we know that it is completely secure, fully isolated, and we have taken the decision to do a migration and move to cloud instead of being on-prem. Most of the migrations we see, the trend is like their data center is coming to an expiry, or they don't want to expand to continue with the data center, and they don't want to invest more now with new resources, new hardware resources, and that's where you see the migrations are coming. So that's one of the trend. So now as a customer, how I'll choose a region? So I'll ensure that the region is the closest to my business location. So choose a region closest to your user for lowest latency and highest performance. So this region, like if my business, I'm operating from Dubai, so my region will be, the home region should be in Dubai only. So I'll not take Abu Dhabi as my home region because it will be a bit far from my current location. So I'll ensure that the lowest latency and I'm getting the highest performance by making sure that it is the closest for my region. Maybe if in your particular country or in that particular location, if you don't have the nearest location or the location in your own country, so maybe then you can go with Abu Dhabi or something like that. But if you do that kind of thing, you need to understand about the data residency and compliances part. Like many countries have a strict data residency requirements. They don't allow your data to be hosted in a different region or a different country's data center. If you have some PII kind of data, like personal information data, and you have to you have some compliances which will not allow you. So you need to ensure that kind of thing also if you don't have a region in your country. Like Saudi was till last year, they don't have a region like Jeddah or Saudi, which is Riyadh. These data centers are started, I think, one and a half year back only. Till that time, they don't have a region. So most of the customers, either they're not moving to the cloud in OCI, or they're moving to some different cloud providers, or if they don't have any compliance issues, they are moving to a data center which is in Dubai, or maybe they are going to UK side. So that's how they need to plan it out. And then finally, the service availability. So if you are going to move to cloud and you are looking for a particular service like AI service, if this service is not available in that region, so moving to that region will not make any sense for you. So you need to understand what services are available. So most of the common services which are required to operate the normal business for any enterprise applications or the database, you have those services available in across all the regions what we saw in the previous slide. But there may be some services which are not available. So you need to cross check on those things. And then based on that, you will be taking your call to choose the region. Okay, any questions here? So I'll take a pause for a minute.
Yeah, correct here, Hemant. Actually, you said that the database migration or
Sorry, your voice is not clear. Not sure if it is only from me or.
now is it okay, Hemant?
There's some background kind of thing that's
Sorry,
coming.
okay, sorry. Now is it okay?
No, go on. I think it's there. Continue. Fine.
It's okay, fine.
There are some
I will ask you later.
background noise.
Disturbance is there, right? Yeah. Something like two wires are connected. Maybe your two cloud services are colliding with each other. Something like that. Okay. Fine. Then we'll see to understand what is the OCI architecture is all about. So we see that there are different regions in different countries which are actually the data centers. We are calling them as a region. And within this regions, how this architecture is constructed is what we are looking into it. So regions are localized geographic areas which have one or more than availability terms. There are more than one AD. So AD is something which you are now looking into, which is like the data center. So this is known as availability domain in OCI. So they name it as AD. And this AD is nothing but a geographical location in that particular country where you have all the physical hardware, the infrastructure, the networking, and all those cables which are there, which from where we are going to access our services. So that's the physical location, and we call that as a availability domain AD in that particular region. It's like a building there. And what we see here is in all the regions, not in all the regions as of now, as on today, but in OCI, when they started with a multi-region concept. Later, according to the other cloud vendors, they have changed their strategy with only single AD. But initially, when they started like Ashburn, Phoenix, or Frankfurt, or London, some of these regions, they have multiple availability domains. Like they call it as one or more fault tolerant isolated data centers located within a region. Like if you take about, let's say Frankfurt as a region. In this Frankfurt region, I have an availability domain, and let's say in some area X. And this is the physical building where I have my complete infrastructure along with the powers, networks, and all the things. And from this X area X, I have my other availability domain, let's say next to 30, 40 kilometers in the same Frankfurt city or the region. And this AD is completely isolated with the other one. And that one will have again infrastructure, cooling, power, and will be using a different network provider and network power grids. Everything is completely isolated. So that's how they have 3 ADs in one particular region. So they are connected with each other with a high performance, high bandwidth network bandwidths. So you don't have any latency between these two ADs. So if you have hosted some servers in one AD and one node in other AD, so you will not have any performance issues because these are highly connected with a high bandwidth network for the lowest latency. And that's how they have this concept of high availability for their services which they have provisioned. So if one AD goes for some kind of issues, if it is going for an outage, they will have the other AD for their native services to be up and running. So they fall to the other AD. And similarly, if you as a customer, if you want to have your production in one AD, you can have that. And because of your data compliances, maybe you cannot move your data to a different country to achieve the disaster recovery. So even that is another, you can go to another AD where it is 30, 40 kilometers away from the current AD. So in that way, you can design your architecture for your primary and standby also in this kind of regions. So that's the idea which they have introduced 3 multiple ADs. But nowadays you see whatever they are going to provision, I mean, coming up with the new regions, all these regions, they are starting with only one AD. And I think they'll expand them going forward. And also in some countries, you will see that there are 2 different regions. Like in India, if you take India, we have 2 regions in India. One is at Mumbai, which has one AD there. And you have one more region in India. Anyone has any guess? Or no, where is the other data center availability domain in
Hyderabad.
India?
Hyderabad.
Yeah, that's correct. So we have one more region in Hyderabad. So now if you have a data compliance issue, that's fine. You have 2 regions in your country only. So you can place your primary in one region, which is closest to your business area. Maybe let's say Hyderabad, and Mumbai will be your DR. So you can plan in such way. So that's why they're also making sure that you have 2 regions in one country so that you can plan for your disaster as well. And in all these ADs, within the AD, you have something called fault domains. So each AD has a grouping of hardware and infrastructure to provide anti-affinity. So this is like a logical data center. So there are the grouping of the hardware, like the grids, the power grids, and the physical grids are grouped into FDs. They call it as fault domains. And each AD has 3 FDs within it. Like even there are 3 ADs here in this region, each AD will have 3 FDs again. So when you are placing your applications like for a high availability, what we do is in the single AD concept or in multi AD also, we place our application nodes like node 1, node 2 in different FDs, and database also, like you have multi 2 node rack, then you will place one node database in one FD and other node will be in other FD. So it's very unlikely that if one FD is going to fail, it will cause any issues for the other FD, because these are a grouped or isolated hardware which is grouped in such a way that the power and all the other resources, cables which are connected to these physical racks are not the same for the other FD. So that's how they maintain, they provide the high availability to the customers. And all the native services which they are providing to the customers are also ensured that they are in different FDs, so they have high availability. Like let's take an example of a load balancer. A load balancer is a native service which OCI is offering to the customers, and this load balancer is having a high availability behind the scenes, which we are not aware of how it is done, or we don't need to understand that how it is deployed. But for the customers, if it is always like uninterrupted service which we'll be getting. If the complete AD is going for a toss, that is a different scenario. But within the AD, even if one FD is going out due to some outage, the service will be automatically replicated to the other FD, and it will fail over to the other FD and get the same IP, floating IP assigned to the load balancer, and you will not see any interruption in the service. So that's how the concept of multiple FDs helps them in terms of the fault tolerant. So what we understood, each region has either 1 or 3 ADs. Either it will be 1 AD or it will be 3 ADs. There is no concept of 2 ADs in any region as of now. And then each AD will have 3 FDs within itself. So AD is a physical, completely isolated data center. So multiple ADs will not have any sharing of the physical hardware. And FD is the grouping of the hardware to ensure that if one group fails, other group will still be unaffected. Okay, so here, as I think we have already discussed about all these things. So availability domain are isolated from each other and fault tolerant and very unlikely to fail simultaneously. So because ADs do not share physical architecture, such as power or cooling or internal availability domain network, a failure which impacts AD1 will not impact AD2 or AD3. So most of the regions, these are like away from a distance like 30-40 kilometers, or maybe some places may be close, but yeah, that's the idea of ADs. And FDs, so each AD has 3 fault domains, and fault domain is acting as a logical data center within an AD. So if there is one FD is going down, the other 2 FDs will be still up and running. So resources placed in different FDs will not share single point of hardware failure, like same physical server, physical rack, or top of rack switch, or the power distribution units PDUs. So how we avoid single point of failures for any high availability kind of scenarios? Either we place our primary in one AD, and here you see data guard is there, and secondary is in a different AD. So if the complete AD is going out for some outage, you still have your secondary. You can start your services and you will be able to resume it. And similarly, if it is in a single AD, it will be distributed in multiple FDs. Like you have 2 different fault domains. So you'll place your applications in 2 different fault domains. So this, when you're doing the provisioning, you will be asked like under which AD you want to provision this, or under which FD you want to place your application nodes. This you can change it. The option you can change, like select when you're provisioning the compute VM. So I'll put my application node 1 in FD1 and application node 2 on FD2. So this you can change it. And also after provisioning also, you can do this change even after provisioning, but not within the ADs. Within the AD, if you want to change it to a different FD, you can move your resources to a different FD. So now looking into the service models, so what service models OCI is offering to the customer? So you have private clouds. So this is something which customer is handling everything in the private cloud. This we all know. And now in OCI, we have something called infrastructure as a service, which is known as IaaS. So this model here, when you see the provider is Oracle here, OCI. He is managing the networking part. He's responsible for the storage, servers, virtualization. So provider is taking care of all this part. And as a customer, we are responsible for the operating system, the data, and the application in IaaS. In this offering, the IaaS, we are doing the provisioning. We are managing the operating system, what we want on those servers. So it's our responsibility to ensure that these operating systems are patched, are updated for all any vulnerabilities we have to cover. And of course, the data is what we are loading into this servers and the application. So this is all our responsibility. This is like the customer who is taking care on top of the infrastructure, and the infrastructure is responsible for by the provider, and he's providing the infrastructure for us. So this is the model where we are going to understand in this training, like OCI administration, how we are going to use the IaaS services, how we do the provisioning, what all we need to understand in this model. And we also look into something in the PaaS model, which is known as platform as a service, where even the operating system is managed by the Oracle, and only the data and application is something which is controlled by the customer. So this model is like, let's say, database as a service, which is known as a base database service, where the operating system is also managed by Oracle, like XSES, if you say Exadata as Exadata Cloud Service. So the patching on the operating system is something which is managed by the cloud vendor itself, the provider itself. And as a customer, we are more looking into the data and the application part. But we can select like when it has to be patched, when we'll get notified. Yeah, so that is there. So these are like the platform as a service. And then you have something called software as a service, which is known as SaaS. And here we don't have any control. These are all the fusion applications. So as a DBA or an application DBA, we have nothing to do in this area because it is all completely managed by Oracle Managed Cloud Services, and they give this service as an offering to the customer, and they just have to use as they want. So these are the three service models we have, and under these service models, we are going to look into the infrastructure as a service and some part of platform as a service. And in this, we have, as we saw in one of the slides, like there are more than 80 cloud services. So these are the services, OCI Core Services, which we are going to talk about in the next few slides. And if you see, these services are categorized into 7 major categories. One is the core infrastructure, that is known as a foundation. And then you have the database services, data and AI services, analytics services, you have governance administration services, you have developer services and application services. So under these major categories, you have again like many other resources or services available for each category. So majorly, like if you are going to migrate a database, so what you need here, you need the infrastructure, that is the core infrastructure service, and plus you need the database service mostly. And if you are looking into some developer services part, maybe you can use some DevOps things from this side, and governance administration also you will also need for the database to be running, like you need to manage your users who are logging in to maintain the database, and maybe you need to add some security part. So that will come from the governance and administration category. So with these 3 categories, you will be able to manage your database in cloud. So what exactly are the services which we can see under the infrastructure are? You see under core infrastructure, this is again a high level. We are not going to deep. We just understanding what are the major services which are coming under each category. So you have compute services, you have containers like Kubernetes, OKEs, you have VMware, OCVS, and you have storage as one of the service and networking. These are all coming under the core infrastructure. So where on computes, you can run your applications, perform the calculations, execute the logics. You can do on these, any of these. The computes are mostly like if you see any packaged application like the enterprise applications like a EBS, if you take an example of e-business suite, you need a compute VM to run your application. So compute is either it is a bare metal server or it is a virtual machine. Mostly it will be a virtual machine. You have GPUs, you have high performance computes. These are for your AI part. If you want to make use of anything like LLMs, language models, which you want to use. That's one of the section under the core infrastructure, which is the compute power, the OCPUs, CPUs, and the other part is the storage. Of course, on all those servers, you need the storage, you need the internal storage. Maybe it's for the virtual machine, you need to attach the volumes. So you have something called block volumes and the boot volumes as well. And you can also plan to have file storage services where you can have high available NFS kind of file system attached to your all the database nodes or application nodes. And you have something called object storage. These are all services. So object storage as a service, block storage as a service, file storage as a service. So these are all the core 80 plus services which we are talking about, right? And these services, we need to understand how we need to provision them, how we need to design them in a secure way, so that when we do the migration and we do the or an implementation, new implementation. So these are based on the best practices we are provisioning them. And moving on to the next part, which is network resources, you have again the VCNs, load balancers, gateways, and different network resources coming under the network part. Similarly, for database, you have Oracle databases, you have third-party databases. Under Oracle database, you have autonomous database, transaction processing, or data warehouse, ATP or ADW. And you have DBCS, which is database cloud service. You have XSES, XSCC also you have, which is Exadata Cloud at Customer. And you have MySQL, NoSQL. These are all available as a service in your OCI. So NoSQL is there, MySQL is there. And data and AI part, if you see, you have big data AI services like digital assistants, data science coming under the AI services, messaging, the streaming services, the logging analytics is also part of the data and AI. I think it comes under the observability and monitoring. I think, yeah, comes under the observability, which is the logging analytics and logging services. So under governance and administration, you have cloud operations like identity, identity management, identity and access management. You have security related services like CloudGuard, and you have data vaults, key managements, data safes, web application firewalls under all security tools. And you have some developer services like Apex service, application developer services, and you have Terraforms and resource managers, Ansibles. These are all under the developer service. And then few services like analytics services, BI analytics services. And finally, you have the SaaS. So SaaS is something like applications, ERP application, Fusion, HCM, SCM. So these are all business and industry SaaS related applications. And you have app integrations like OICs, another thing, another area, which is used for integrated cloud services. Maybe for your within your database and to SaaS, you want some connections, connectors, you can use them. So these are all 7 major categories, and you look high level services, what you can use. So mostly for all the workloads, you want to migrate from your on-prem, whatever the resources you need, they are mostly available in all the regions. So you can make use of these resources as per your choice. Mostly the foundation resources, all the core infrastructure is by default, you need them in all the for any project. And then the governance and administration also is common part for all the workloads what you are going to migrate to OCI. And you see the commercial regions, government regions, clouded customers, multi-cloud, hybrid migration. So these are the distributed cloud options you have if you are going with the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So that's what this slide talks about. Distributed cloud services. Like if you want to have your resources in public cloud, you can have them. And you can also have a hybrid cloud kind of architecture where you can have your Exadata clouded customer. So Exadata box is in your data center, which is provisioned by Oracle provider in this case, and few other resources are in your on-premises old servers or maybe the legacy boxes, and only the Exadata clouded customer you have opted for. Or there is something like roving edge infrastructure. This is completely remote infrastructure. You can opt for that, and isolated infrastructure, you can make use of it. So this is something like a hybrid cloud architecture. And you also have something called dedicated cloud regions. So these are like DRCCs, OCI dedicated cloud regions. Like if you are like government entities, or you don't want to have your resources into your public cloud, and because of some compliances, you can have your own dedicated region, a dedicated data center at your on-premises next to your data center, or within your data center, one of the floor you can allocate to the OCI, and they will provision and they will establish this DRCC for you. And also you have multi-cloud option, like you can have your some of the resources in OCI and some of the resources running in other cloud provider like Azure or Google or any other things. You also see that trend started like after this intercollaboration with other cloud providers, like OCI's collaborated with Azure with interconnect, and they have also announced I think six or 9 months back collaboration between Google and AWS as well. So now they are moving into multi-cloud part, like you have database running on database OCI, and the applications are running in Azure, something like that. Okay, I think I'll take a pause here. We'll resume with a few more slides here, which is like hybrid cloud DRCC. Yeah, 3 more slides or 4 more slides. We'll continue in the next session and then jump into the other part where we need to understand what will be the content, course content for this OCI training. And then we will also understand how to do a sign up of an OCI tenancy, which we will be going to use in the training part. So using this OCI tenancy, we will understand how to do the sign up, and we will then have a quick walkthrough on the OCI console. So any questions?
Hi, Hemant.
Yeah, fine.
So you said AD and FD, right? So can we compare AD with DR or FD with rack? How
correct.
it will be?
Yeah, you can compare AD with DR and FD with a rack concept. Exactly. So FD is within one AD only. You can have a DB node one on one FD and the other DB node on the FD2. And also when you're provisioning a managed service like the database automated service like XSCS or a DBCS, when you do the provisioning in OCI with a high node 2 node rack, by default you don't have this option to select the FDs. It will ensure that it is one node is going in a one FD and other node is going into a different FD. You can see after the provisioning, the node 1 will be maybe in FD1 and node 2 will be in FD3.
Okay. Okay, sure. So I can compare FD with Yeah, I got it.
You can compare. FDs are for high availability within the AD, and AD is for something like the disaster part. Because
Okay.
ADs are also like, even though your application high, these two ADs are what OCI says is you can have high availability of your applications placing on different ADs. But still the enterprise applications don't support that. They want all those infrastructure in one AD only. Even though the Oracle backbone network supports high latency, lowest latency with the high bandwidth, but it is not yet supported to place your application node 1 in one AD and application node 2 in different AD. Yeah, that is not suggestible as of now, but within an AD, FDs are there for your high availability, and ADs are for your DR.
So one AD will be active, other AD will be passive. So
Yes.
keep on syncing with the active AD.
Yes, exactly. Active also you can keep if you have an active data guard if in terms of database, but that will be a read-only thing other side.
Yeah, redundant. Yeah. So and you said private cloud has to be maintained by customer. So customer has to maintain complete private cloud.
Not the complete one. Private cloud infrastructure, which OCI will coming into the picture, and they will be doing the provisioning part, and they will maintain that area. Like here, if you see DRCC, so this is the customer data center, and you have a space given to the Oracle operation person, and he will set up the hardware and do the support for us. So these are the Oracle managed cloud racks, if you see here. So this is how.
So up to which point we will support OS? You said multiple things, right? Like VM services, server storage network. So these kind of like up to which point we have to support in private cloud. So we are having some OS data application, some layers are there, right? So up to which layer we will support?
It will be again the data is your responsibility, and any patches like say on the database side, it's your responsibility only in the private cloud.
Okay. So VM server storage network.
VM network is all taken care by the provider.
So OS data and application. So these three we have to support.
Yes.
DBA has to support.
Yes.
Okay. Same like
IaaS. IaaS. Yeah, it's like an IaaS only. Yes.
Okay. So about this OCI Core Services. So we are going to be discuss on all these.
Yes. OCI Core, completely all the OCI core infrastructure is what we are going to cover in our training session. And also the database services, few database services, and most of the governance and administration services. So this part and this part, you see this is completely covered along with some part in the database and few things on the developer services. So this will be like a U here.
Okay.
So we'll see what is all individually. We'll see into each and every section what we are going to cover.
Sure. Thanks, Sam.
Can you go to the course contents once?
Sorry, which one?
Course contents. What you're going to cover in this course?
Yeah, that we will go to cover in the next session tomorrow. Yeah. So we are already almost 5 minutes into the session. Yeah.
Okay. Batch will be always between 7 to 8 a.m.
Yeah, it's only 7 to 8.
Okay. And do you plot the cloud console, or we need to register ourselves?
I'll show you how to register to a cloud console, like a free tenancy, how you will get it.
But that will be for 30 days only, right? So
yeah, that will be for 30 days only. So mostly when we cover. Yeah.
Is there any option that you can provide and I'm going to pay for it?
No. That option is not there.
Okay.
But few resources, even after the 30 days, you will be still able to use them. Like always free tenancy is there. Even though you will not have those credits to provision the DBCS or some of the resources, but in your tenancy, always free tenancy, you will be able to do the basic core services. Like you can still provision the computes, you can still set up the network, storage, and this practice you can do on your free tenancy also.
Okay.
So paid tenancy you need for your database services. A few in this part.
Okay.
And
Are you
something like to
from
understand on the
AppsDBA background?
Yeah, I'm from AppsDBA background. That's what
Okay.
I think
So
you understand.
any chance of showing that apps migrating from the on-prem to OCI?
Yeah, we will also have one session on that part. Yes, we'll have something called EBS Cloud Manager. So I'll give you a complete information on how to do the migration. We'll also can discuss about various options of migration. So we'll have that covered in the course content as well, as part of the database migration and application migration.
Okay.
So once we understand about all the core infrastructure, how to do the provisioning, how to do the basic foundation setup, and then we will move on to the migration part. So the course is designed in such a way that if you are from the scratch, like if you are going to do a migration, and this is a greenfield environment, like when we say greenfield, it's a new tenancy, and you are setting up all the resources from the beginning. So we'll do that in that way, like what are the things you need to set up before you start doing the migration. So once you do the basic foundation, we will also go in that way only. Like we start with the users creation, and then we start with the provisioning of network, and then we'll understand how to provision the computes, how to provision the database. Once we all know all these things, then we will understand how you do the migration. What are the different ways you have available tools to do the migrations. That's how we will
You'll be
plan.
showing
We are
all the
planning this.
DB migration.
Yeah.
To ours. Can we use a debit card to create that account, or like suggestible to
Debit
only
card is
to have?
also if it is international enable, I think you can also use debit card.
Hemant, I have one doubt here in
Yeah.
IS and SaaS part, because I was a bit interrupted in the time. If you can you please tell me in 1 minute that IS and SaaS slide was there, no?
Okay, this is like service models which we are talking about, like what is offered by this cloud provider, which is OCI in this case. So OCI service models, they have different service models. One is IaaS, like customer, if they want to use the infrastructure as a service, so they will opt for renting this infrastructure only. As we saw in the initial slide, right? You only investing on the,
Yes.
you are only renting the infrastructure. So IaaS is nothing but you are renting the servers or storage. And on top of that, you are going to provision whatever the operating system you want. Maybe you want to install Windows, or maybe you want to install Linux. So that's up to you. So you are taking care of that. Only the infrastructure as a service is provided by the Oracle, and rest is managed by the customer, which is you. And then in platform as a service, here the operating system choice is not with you. It's managed by Oracle only. So they will give the operating system also for you. And on top of that, you are going to manage your data, which you are going to install it in. Like if you see the database as a service. So here the operating system is coming along with the database Oracle Home for you. So you don't have to you don't have any choice to manage your operating system there. So it is also managed by Oracle. That's the provider. So that's a platform as a service. This model is known as platform as a service. And similarly, you have load balancer. I think that also comes under the PaaS model, which is a platform as a service. And software as a service is completely like SaaS, which is Fusion applications, where you don't have any choice. Fusion application, you just have to subscribe to those applications and start using them. So the application, database, or the operating system, this is all under the provider's control. So these are the different models. So currently, as an infra admin, which we want to understand, the training is mostly focused on the IaaS part, infrastructure as a service, where customers are migrating their resources, renting their infrastructure resources in OCI, and then doing the migrations, provisioning the resources is what we are going to understand in this course.
Provide the
basically
record
in
sorry, go ahead.
basically in companies we are using IaaS, right?
Yes.
In
Because
private,
we have OCI recently. On the on-site team, they have implemented OCI, but we don't know exactly what they have did. Mostly, I think
It
that
will be
which part
mostly which services they are using. Mostly they can be using platform as a service. Some services like DB services, they come under PaaS. And if they are using compute VMs, that will be coming under IaaS.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other last question?
In FD like can we put production and standby in
No,
FD?
not in one AD.
Like,
I mean, it's not production and DR you say, standby. So AD, in a single AD, production and standby is not a recommended approach, because standby is something for your disaster part, right? If something goes wrong for the AD, you need another AD, which is somewhere in a different place, in a different, at least not in the same location, at next to each other, right? So it should be in a different AD.
In some cases, you have also seen in one server we are keeping production and standby both. Also, sometimes we are keeping.
You can keep it, but best practices, like if really some disaster happens, if that server is gone, then you will not have your standby also available. In that point of view, I am just telling you can place it in different FDs. That is not an issue. AD within an AD also different FDs you will be able to create a standby, but the best practices will not suggest that, right?
Yeah.
One last question.
Yeah.
Like from my end. Like in private cloud, what's private cloud? You said in this screenshot, you mentioned like customer has to maintain all these
This is
layers,
the
right?
normal data center private cloud. Earlier we have
Oh,
private
okay,
cloud.
on premises you are telling.
On-premises.
This is on. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll catch up tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a nice day. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
after completing, no.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So after completing this interview, we can work in OCI, right? So in interview, we can clear the interview and we can work in our environment also, right?
You will be able to. Yeah. Once you do the hands-on, you do the labs, you will have better knowledge and you should be able to clear the interviews as
well. Okay.
I think Kala I think you were asking some question, right, earlier?
Haven't actually, yeah, again, same problem. I will ask you once to get the clearance tomorrow.
No, I think it is clear better now. If you want, I can.
Actually, that is related to migration. When we come to that migration part, I will ask you.
Okay, sure. Yeah. All right, then have a nice day. Thank you.
Yeah, this is thanks. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.